To my dear Boo Boo, I love you so much with my entire being. Words cannot express how happy I am that you chose me to be your mother and you fought very hard to stay and be my best friend. I enjoy every moment with you, discovering new things with you, and seeing you grow right in front of my eyes. I look forward to our fun times together, matchy outfits, you wearing my shoes and makeup and talking about boy stuff. I prayed for God to give me a soulmate and best friend, and who better than my daughter to share that bond with. I love you, my boo. Forever yours, Mommy.
More than 6 million women in Kenya suffer from fistula. So on the show today, we speak to a very young lady who has a heartbreaking experience, but she shares her story to create awareness and sensitization. Welcome to Unscripted, and special thanks to Parkin by Radisson for hosting us. Welcome to the show. My name is Grace Salame, and this is Unscripted. I'm here with the beautiful, lovely Chantelle Petite, I have to add.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on the show, my dear.
Thank you for having me.
You are strikingly beautiful.
Thank you.
Like you're just glowing.
Thank you.
Before we even get into everything, I have to say you are one resilient, strong woman. From what I've read about you and what you've conquered, from rape, depression, and now conquering fistula. Where do you draw your strength from, Chantelle?
My mom. Yeah, she has an interesting past as well. And every time I go through something, I look at her and I'm like, if she could do it, who am I not to?
Yeah?
Yeah.
You must have a good relationship with your mom. You
Yes.
talk about her a lot in your vlogs.
I do. She's my bestie.
She is?
Yeah, I've lived with her all my life.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. Does that reflect with how you raise your daughter?
Yes, actually. I mean, I'm still new to raising my daughter, but I'm trying to do the same things my mom did with me. Yeah, I'll see the outcome when she's 16.
Right?
Yeah.
But you just mentioned you're still new to this. You're a new mom. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Beautiful baby.
Thank you.
Summer is gorgeous.
Yeah.
But being a new mom and single, right?
Yes, single mom.
It's never easy. Being a new mom and
Yes.
doing it alone is not easy. But now having complications at birth, that doesn't make it easier, definitely.
No.
So if you could take us through the fistula battle, how it led to that, especially considering it was through unavoidable circumstances.
Yes.
That should not have happened.
Yes.
Take us through that.
So I went into labor on the 1st of January, 6 a.m.
Right.
Went to the hospital at around 11. My gynecologist had told me not to go immediately, that I should wait until the contractions are 15 to 5 minutes apart.
Got it.
So we waited it out and then went to the hospital.
Okay.
When they checked me, they did the examination, they found meconium, which is baby poop. The baby had pooped in my womb. So he told me that I am an emergency case. They're going to schedule me for a C-section.
Right.
But the hospital did not have all the theaters available on that day, just the 2 on the 6th floor.
Wow.
So my C-section was scheduled for 5:30.
Whereas what time is this at this time?
12.
Wow.
Yeah. So being that I'm a new mom, I didn't know my
You
options.
didn't.
I
Yeah.
didn't know I could be transferred. I didn't know that wasn't right. I thought you could wait it out. So I just waited it out. But during the course of waiting, I felt like pushing. And I kept feeling it. I kept feeling it for maybe an hour and a half until finally...
Are you alone at this time when this is happening?
I was with my sister.
Okay.
Yeah, my family was there with me.
Okay.
But we had given roles to each person in the family. So my sister, the second one, was supposed to be with me in the delivery room, and she was.
Okay.
So at some point I told her, I feel the baby's head. You need to call a nurse. They weren't taking me seriously until finally one came and saw the baby's hair. So the doctor came and examined me and found I was 9 centimeters. Then a few minutes later, 10.
Gosh.
So I had dilated a full 5 centimeters in 2 hours. So they told me push. So I pushed for maybe 40 minutes. By 3:25 I had given birth. Yeah. So when she came out, she didn't cry. I've still not talked about her story, but I just talked about how she did not cry, and they had to do a lot of stuff. I'm still not ready to talk about her case. So they did an episiotomy on me, something I didn't want, but apparently you have no option. Yeah.
Okay.
So I had requested the doctor to put me under because I didn't want to feel the pain.
The pain,
When they were stitching me up. So they put me under and they stitched me, and I had narrated how I had a near-death experience during that period.
What, the pain? Why was it a near-death experience?
There's a doctor who told me when you're under general anesthesia, if you see black, you're
That's not
dying.
good.
Yeah. So at some point during this blackness, I could see this light, a tiny spotlight at the far end, and it was calling me. I was just ready to walk into it. I was ready.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a magnet. It was very attractive. And I kept just walking and walking, and then I had stop at the back on my left, and I looked back, it was myself. Wow. So I'm like, okay, how is this possible? So I walked back to myself, and I was talking to myself. This side was telling me, Chantelle, you need to wake up, you're about to die. And I'm telling
Chantelle.
the other side, no, I'm not about to die, let me go to that light. And this side is saying, no, you have a baby.
Because for you, that moment, that light is, it seems peaceful.
It's peaceful, calling. It's comfortable, it's
no more
like
pain.
No more pain, nothing. So there was a debate between the two sides until finally the right side remembered, Chantelle, you have a baby, you need to wake up. So I struggled for a long time to wake up until finally I opened my right eye. Yeah. The left side of my face was paralyzed. So I looked and I saw a nurse and I told her,
I can't feel my left side.
Yeah, and I was feeling, so what they did, I thought that stitched me. They left my left leg up on the thing that holds the legs. Yeah. And I could feel that my left leg was numb. So I asked her, please call someone to remove my leg from the stand. Yeah. I'm feeling pain. So later on, a few hours later, they bring another gynecologist who tells me they found a 3rd-degree tear, and they didn't manage to stitch the episiotomy because of the state of my flesh. So they scheduled me for surgery the next day, 2nd January. I went in.
And that should not have happened?
No.
That was negligence.
Yeah. So, and I'm saying that based off of conversations with other doctors.
This is, you realized this after?
Yes, I realized all this after because I was now transferred to a different doctor, and everyone in the new medical team was like, that should not have happened. Yeah, none of this should have happened.
I'm so sorry.
So they couldn't stitch my 3rd-degree tear. So on the 2nd, they scheduled me for surgery with an expert, a tear expert. He stitched me, and I thought that was the end. So the thing about hospitals is after surgery, you're forced to walk. I know. Yeah. I know. I had surgery recently, and yes. I remember that. Yeah. It wasn't fun. It's not fun because of, I understand now, I talked to a lady who had a blood clot that went to her lungs. So I understand why they force you to walk. Yeah. But at the same time, you can force someone to walk, but not to sit, especially if you have a vaginal injury. Yeah. So they were really pressuring me to go to the newborn unit. That's where my baby was. Yeah. To take care of her, to pump milk. And you know, as a new mom, you feel that pressure. I have to take care of my baby. Of course. But they're treating you as if you had a normal birth. Yes, like nothing happened. Exactly. The only ones who knew were the people who delivered the baby and the ones who did the surgery. So I had to keep explaining to everybody, this is what happened to me, please be gentle. So there was a day I sat 9 hours at the newborn unit. Because of that pressure. Yeah. They were like, you have to pump, your baby needs your milk. I'm trying to explain to them, they don't care. So what happened? So that same day, I got discharged, and I felt weird. For some reason, I was in pain, and the doctor kept telling me, if you're in pain, something's wrong, or you're not washing yourself. The instructions after the surgery was you splash water with the shower to clean yourself every time you go to the washroom. Yeah. So you were still in pain? Yes, I was in a lot of pain. So when they came to discharge me, I told them I'm in pain, and they kind of just brushed it off. They're like, no, when you go home. Those things for your new mom, this is how it is. Yes. You'll deal with it. Yes, just spray water. You're not cleaning yourself properly. It's probably fecal matter, that's what they said. So they examined my breasts to see if I have mastitis, and then they discharged me. So in that hospital, there's an option. But you're still in pain? I'm in pain. They discharged me. I was literally telling them, I'm in pain, I don't want to be discharged. I refused, they didn't care. since my baby was still in the newborn unit, I didn't feel comfortable leaving her there. And also the idea of traveling back and forth from home to bring milk was not, especially with the pain I was in. So they have the option.
What happened to baby? Why did you have to leave baby?
Because of what happened to her at birth. Maybe I should just talk about it, because I'm going to shoot a vlog anyway. She had birth asphyxia, which is, I don't really know the explanation, but I do know that she did not have oxygen, and then she inhaled the poop, so it went to her lungs. So when she came out, they had to put tubes in her nose and her throat to remove the poop. Yeah. And then she stopped breathing for some time. She cried a bit. She didn't cry when she came out, but she cried after they removed the poop for maybe 1 minute, then she stopped.
So what do they do?
All I know is they put her on a cold bed. That's the therapy. She had convulsions for maybe...
A small baby?
For 4 hours she had convulsions. 4 to 6 hours, I'm not sure. So the therapy is a cold bed. It's basically a bed with they put the baby under like hypothermia or something, and they monitor the temperatures to slow down the brain activity so that convulsions don't happen again. Yeah.
How was this like for you, Chantelle, to see your daughter
it was
in that state?
So I didn't see her until, was it the 3rd or the 4th of January? Because
was this intentional or because you're also not well? I
was not well. I couldn't walk after the surgery. I refused the second day. I said, no, I'm not walking, maybe to the toilet, but not to the newborn unit. It was on the 3rd, I think, yeah. I walked with my mom. I saw her. I was not allowed to touch her. No one was allowed to touch her besides the nurses. It was heartbreaking, but I was looking at her and I'm thinking, if this baby can fight through what she's been through, who am I? So I cried a bit, but then I smiled and I said, you're a fighter, and you've encouraged me to fight.
Oh, Chantelle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was feeling weird. They have the option of staying as a lodger, which is basically, it's someone who accompanies their baby. Yeah. So it's like staying in a hotel, but it's a hospital, and you're taking care of your baby.
Okay. So you were able to do that?
Yes. So they move you to a different floor, different room. I took that option. And thank God I did, because that's when they discovered the fistula. So basically, the pain I was feeling, that was my stitches ripping, and they didn't examine me to see that the stitches were ripping. So one day, again, I was spending a lot of time in the newborn unit. So I came back to my room for lunch, because my mom had told me, you're neglecting yourself, you're not eating, you need to eat.
As is normal when you're a new mom, you're just focusing on the baby.
Yes.
Yeah, and now you're not well as well. Yeah,
exactly.
I understand.
So that day I realized, oh, Chantelle, you're hungry, you need to go eat. So I went to the room, but I felt the urge to pee.
What happened?
So I went to the washroom, and I'm very keen, like I listen to everything the doctors tell me. And I remember asking the nurse, how does the lochia, the blood after giving birth, how does it go? How long will it last? And she told me it will last maybe 8 days or 2 weeks.
Yeah, you bleed out for some time.
Yeah, for some time, and at some point to become brown.
Yes.
So I went to the washroom, I removed my underwear, and I saw this brown lump. And to me, I'm like, okay, maybe this is the lochia.
And this is after how long? How long had you just given birth?
This
was it already in the 8-day period?
Yes,
okay.
It was. It was, I think, 4 days after the stitching of the 3rd degree tear. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's a lochia. But then I look at it, I peed, and then I looked at the pee, it looked like really watery uji. It had grains, tiny grains. So I'm wondering, okay, what's that? And then I wiped myself, the grains were there. So something was just telling me, Chantelle,
something is
ask.
off.
Yeah, ask, and you're in a lot of pain right now, ask. So when I ate my lunch and went down, I bumped into the nurse who delivered my baby, and I explained to her, and she had this look on her face, and I was just like, oh, they're about to tell me bad news. It was just bad news after bad news that entire week. So she told me, you go to the newborn unit. When your gynecologist comes, I'll call you. So they called me. No, I bumped into her on the way back to the room, and I explained to her.
What did they tell you? Yeah.
She told me, let me examine you. So they do this rectal examination, and she just looked at me and she's like, I'm sorry, my dear, you have fistula. And for me, I'm like, And you know that day was a bad day. Already the accountants were chasing me.
And did you know what this means? Did you know what?
I had heard about fistula, yes, in high
Right.
school, because my sister worked for an organization that dealt with such.
I see.
But I didn't know exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So
what it felt like,
yeah.
what it meant for your
yourself.
own health.
Yeah. I didn't even know where it happened. I just knew fistula is there, and it happens to women.
Okay. I think on that note, we'll take a short break. When we come back, more from Chantelle Petite as she tells us more about her experience with fistula. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. Chantelle, your experience, it's heavy for any woman to take. Take us through when you discovered, indeed, you have fistula. How was that?
It was depressing, because at that same time I was dealing with breastfeeding and not having enough milk, pumping. Also, I guess my body just felt different, so I didn't know who I was. But I thank God that I had my family with me. As much as they were not able to be there with me all through the hospital period, on the phone they were there 24/7. My mom didn't sleep in January. She was awake the whole time. I would call her for 3 hours from 2 to 5, and we'd just talk. So basically, she found a fistula and she told me I have to do another surgery. Obviously, I'm thinking that's another cost I don't have.
If you could break down to someone at home who, like you said, you hear about it in school or you hear situations, what is it really and what is it like?
Fistula is a hole. There are two types. I don't know the name of the other one, but the first one is one that connects the bladder to the uterus. And the second one is rectovaginal fistula, which is what I had. It's a hole that connects the vagina and the rectum. Which allows gas and stool to go through. The pain is, you feel the pain mostly when you're passing stool.
And already when you give birth, passing stool is difficult after any surgery. So I can't imagine how that is.
It's horrible. I would maybe on a scale of 1 to 100, I'd say 1,000. It's horrible. It's bad. Sitting, you can't sit, you can't stand for too long. Walking is unbearable. I was constantly on my sides, lying down in the room. If I would go to the newborn unit, I'd sit on a pillow, but that's because, again, I didn't know that was not ideal, because the nurses would tell me, you need to sit, you need to practice so that you can feel better.
But you didn't know.
I didn't know that I had the right to say, no, I don't want to sit, I want to lie down.
And how is the healing journey like?
The healing
does
journey.
It take? What is the process? You mentioned you had a surgery. You told you have to go in for surgery.
I had 2 more surgeries after the 3rd-degree tear surgery. The first one was, they call it an examination. That's how they check how the flesh is doing, if they can do the surgery on that day. For me, they couldn't, because my flesh was still very damaged.
I see.
So what they did was they stitched my rectum, because initially they wanted to leave me completely open and just leave me on diapers. But I was not comfortable with that at all. So I begged the surgeon. Now, this is when they transferred me to a different guy, a private gynecologist, who's the best in fistula reconstructive surgery. So he stitched my rectum and gave me 2 weeks. Initially, he wanted to give me 2 weeks to heal, and then we revisit the idea of doing the surgery. But when he saw how bad my flesh was, he told me 1 month. That's when now I got discharged, and I went home, and I was being cleaned by my nurse, who would come thrice a day and clean me with saline water, sterile gauze, sterile gloves, and a sterile pack equipment.
Pretty much it's ongoing. Even after surgery, you need home treatment and home care constantly. And I think you've talked about this on your vlog, where you mentioned, I think it was a post you put up on IG, where you were very angry, very unhappy with the maternal negligence, to think that this could have been avoided for you and your baby. And then there's the surgeries, and there's a cost to it. And then there's post, and there's cost to that as well. I have to ask this, Chantelle. What measures do you feel must be taken when such situations happen? Or, what are you going to do? Or what do you want to do?
I mean, no woman should have to go through birth trauma at all. There's recently a video of a woman who gave birth on the floor, and they're being shouted at, "Why are you drinking tea?"
Terrible.
So there should be equal rights to everybody who is in need of health care, wherever it is. So if I go to this affordable hospital and they're unable to provide the service to me, I should be able to go to Nairobi or to Aga Khan and receive the same services. because at the end of the day, it's the same thing that's going to be done.
That's true.
Maybe the room is what is expensive.
Yeah.
Maternal health care should be free. That's what I think.
Got it.
Should be free for everybody. It's a very serious, delicate matter that should not be ignored. Both mom and child can die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the measures that should be taken,
Yeah.
you believe?
But on my end, I do plan on, until that happens, obviously it's going to take a while, what I would want to do is help women who are in the same situation that I was in financially. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll make it happen. Financially, and also to access the proper staff that's needed to get them from this point to the best point.
So very soon we'll see Chantelle beginning a foundation or a program of sorts.
Yes.
Well,
definitely.
High five on that.
Yeah.
If I could ask though, like I said, being a new mom is not easy.
Yeah.
So how is it dealing with your own health, and then there you are with a newborn baby? How has that been?
Okay, I'll say it's rough, but again, I have my family, but also there's that guilt that you're pressuring your family to do a lot. It's very rough, especially when I look at my baby and I'm in so much pain. She's crying and I can't stand up to help her.
Attend to her.
Yeah, that's how it was now when I went home. And even after the first surgery, I couldn't stand or do anything. Even sitting down to just say shh was unbearable.
It was hard.
Unbearable. So it kind of affected our bond for sure. There was a point she would not look at me at all. I would come and say, "Hi, Summer." She'd be like,
I see.
And
Because she wasn't familiar with mommy.
yes, she didn't know who I was, and that would crush my heart completely.
Of course.
But again, it motivated me to be strong and to heal quickly, so that I can now reestablish that bond with her.
So resilient. So resilient. Support system, I believe, plays a key role in situations like these. If you could speak on the importance of having that, and for you, I guess, who was your key team?
So my key team was my family, my mom, my sisters, and my followers on Instagram.
Yeah, your support is unbelievable.
It's not just...
Like, well done.
Yeah.
I think I've seen a quote that says, there's no one that supports you like a stranger online.
I saw that today as well.
Right?
Yeah,
like
it's true.
Unbelievable.
The moms, all the moms, even the ladies who are not moms, they supported me so much. They would DM me all the time saying, "Hi, Chantelle, how are you today? How's the pain? You want to talk?" When I'd have I call them my Lou sessions, we had appointed people in my family. Today it's the firstborn, tomorrow it's the secondborn, and they knew that they had to give 2 to 3 hours every 2 hours to just talk to me and tell me it's okay, it's okay. My mom especially, I talked about it on my vlog. Every time she'd call me, I'd tell her, "Mom, just sing me a song, it will get me through the session." And she'd sing to me, and there's a day I just cried, and I was like, "Oh my God, what would I have done without my mom?"
Right? All of us, what we do without our mothers.
So, my family and my Instagram followers, they have played a key role in keeping me sane. Also, I had a therapist that my sister got for me, because the day I was like, okay, I'm going nuts, you need to send me a therapist ASAP. So she came, she talked to me. I was with her for maybe 2 weeks, and then we stopped because, again, cost.
What's been the hardest part in all of this, Chantelle, to come to terms with?
This is not my body anymore. I remember telling my sister, this body belongs to the doctors, doesn't belong to me anymore.
That's how you feel?
That's how I feel. I miss something as simple as sitting. I look at my sister or you or them sitting, and I'm like, what does it feel like? I've forgotten what it feels like to sit and not feel like I have a knife stabbing me. Yeah, so coming to terms with the fact that my body is different, it's hard. It's still hard right now, as much as I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah, it's quite hard.
And I think what reminder there is, don't take anything for granted.
Exactly.
When you wake up in the morning and you can do the simple things.
Yes, I always tell my friends, laughing, sneezing, coughing, all of that involves the rectum.
It does, right?
Yeah. So for a long time, I was not laughing, sneezing, or coughing. I had developed a completely different way of doing all those. So I keep telling them, don't take it for granted. You're going to the toilet right now. Love it. Enjoy it. Kabisa.
Savor the moment.
Yes, enjoy it.
How are you feeling now?
I'm okay. I'm tired though. I'm exhausted. I wish I could go on a vacation and sleep for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and then come back. Yeah.
How's baby?
She's okay as well.
Her health, she's now breathing by herself.
Yes, she is.
Feeding well.
Okay. We're currently doing occupational therapy. It's a precaution for a baby who went through birth asphyxia, just to make sure she hits her milestones on time, because sometimes birth asphyxia can slow down milestones.
I see. But she's responding well.
Yes, she is.
Okay, okay. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for staying with us. Special thanks to Parkin by Radisson for hosting us yet again. Chantelle, thank you. Thank you for being open and frank about your journey. In fact, I'm curious to know, we discovered you from a YouTube channel, vlogging and talking about this particular journey. What led you to do that?
It was at a time where I needed an outlet. I was feeling like I needed to express myself, show people what I do, and just talk about life. Yeah.
And then it led to
now documenting everything about my life from my pregnancy. I documented my entire pregnancy. And my fans really love that, and they requested that I do a labor and delivery vlog. So, yeah.
And how do you feel about that? Do you ever feel sometimes to keep something to yourself?
Yes.
Or, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
like
imagine.
The baby. I kept her to myself for some time. I didn't even announce that I had given birth on the day I gave birth. I announced maybe 17 days later. Yeah.
So how do you find the balance between Chantelle and then now publicly, what the rest of the world sees and knows?
I don't think I've reached there yet.
You're finding the balance.
I'm rolling with the flow. Whatever happens, happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rolling with the flow.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think through this whole journey, being a mother and having to start off your motherhood with so much, what's been your biggest lesson through it all?
Wow. Family is everything. Family is strength. Family is love, peace, and joy at the same time. You need family, even if it's just one person. It could be even a cousin or even your best friend, a friend who's family. Family is everything.
It's everything.
Yeah.
And what is so far, your big lesson from motherhood, or how are you finding motherhood?
Motherhood is cute.
It's cute.
It's cute. It's very cute. My biggest lesson is, patience. You have to be patient with yourself and with your baby.
That's true.
When your baby wants something, they want something, and you can't say, ngoja. No, it has to be then and there. So patience and understanding as well.
I think I saw in your either Instagram or your, clearly, I went and immersed myself into Chantelle's world.
Yes.
We talked about how sometimes as mothers, we feel like we're falling short, or we're failing, or, we're just not meeting the demand. What would you tell that mom at home now who feels that way?
I would tell her it's normal to feel that way.
Yeah.
You're not abnormal. You don't need, people are like, hizo ni magonjwa za wazungu. It's not.
You've heard that before.
Yeah, someone told me actually, hiyo ni ugonjwa wa wazungu, because I was telling them I feel like I'm going through postpartum depression. And that was the response I got. And I was like, no, it's not.
I think they go through it and they don't know what it is.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's normal. You're allowed to go through it step by step.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to feel, because again, there's this thing where we like holding back and not feeling what we're supposed to be feeling in any given moment. And that's what has actually given me the strength I have right now. I allow myself to feel whatever I'm feeling. And just love yourself.
Love yourself.
Yeah. And talk to fellow mothers.
Yes.
You will get to know that you're not alone in that journey.
That's very true. Speaking of not being alone, you recently won an award, thanks to Cortex.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Thank you.
I'd like you to talk about the importance of, as a woman, as a human being, as a person, just having a voice and having a stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, speak on that.
I mean, for generations, women have been taught to keep quiet. Oh, this is happening to you, nyamaza, like who cares? And that shouldn't be the case. That's how you end up depressed and sad, and you end up thinking very dark thoughts. The importance of having a voice, you end up helping others. Sharing is caring. Even in my speech at the Cortex Awards, I said sharing is caring, not just with material things, but with also your story. You get to help other people and to discover that whatever you're going through is normal. People go through it, and it's a journey of many.
It's a journey of many.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So now I want to do sort of like a quick fire.
Okay.
Kind of like session. So let's go. If there's one thing, it doesn't have to be one thing, what would Chantelle like to be remembered for?
Wow. Changing the lives of women. Mentally, physically, life-wise, like you don't have, if you feel like you're going through something or something is wrong in your life, know that Chantelle is there on Instagram or YouTube. You can reach out and talk to her and she'll respond. I am a big believer in responding to everybody. I know sometimes it gets overwhelming.
It can. Yeah.
It, like when my vlog went viral, I was receiving 1,000 DMs every 2 hours, so I couldn't respond to everybody.
Yeah.
But I try my best to talk to everyone because we're all going through something.
We are.
Yeah,
We
so
are.
changing the lives of women. Like there's a lady who went for surgery and she was calling me every day to just ask me, hi, today I'm feeling this. Did you feel this? How did you do it? What did you eat to help you pass stool properly? And I'll just advise her. I hope she's out of hospital now. I'm actually supposed to call her.
Oh, look at that. I hope she's watching.
Yes,
I hope she can hear that you're thinking about her.
Yeah.
In fact, during the break, you mentioned how you just sharing your story, the immense feedback you receive from not just Kenya, but all over the world.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. A lot of feedback. Many women discovered they had fistula after watching my video because they thought it was something normal until they discovered it's not, and I was feeling the same thing, and they went and got checked and scheduled for surgery. And also just women relating to the pain and to the mental torture that is a birth trauma. Yeah.
Yet it shouldn't be.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. Yeah,
Yet
exactly.
It shouldn't be. What are your dreams, goals, and ambitions?
Oh, that's a tough question. Do I know? You know, I had that answer before this happened.
Before all this.
Yeah, and now my answer, I feel like it's going to be completely different. But again, like everything about me right now is female-centered.
I see.
Women go through a lot, not just even giving birth, but even in relationships, in the office. It's hard being a woman. And I would like to be a part of the change that comes with women. Yeah, to change the environment for women everywhere, not just maternal, but everywhere. We go through tough times.
So just empower them.
Yes, to empower women. You should be able to walk in the street and not be like, oh my gosh, is someone following me, you know. Just feel like normal.
Feel normal. What is your greatest fear?
Phobia or?
In life, it could be, for some, it could be failure, others it could be, What's your greatest fear?
Now my answer is different again. My greatest fear is my daughter looking at me and saying, you disappointed me, mommy. With my choices in life, I want to be an example to her, and I don't want to ever look at me and say, mommy, you're not an example to me. Yeah.
And that never goes away, by the way.
Yeah.
I will tell you that for free. That never goes away. So what would you love to impart to your daughter? Teach her?
I would like to tell her that, first of all, it's okay to talk. Don't keep anything within. If something's bothering you, come to me. I'm your friend. I'm your mom and your friend. Because there's this fear we all have of our parents, which shouldn't be there. Our parents are the go-to person, our protectors, you know. Also, express yourself, be yourself, and be okay with it. Don't care what people say. If you want to wear a pink wig, wear it. No one should tell you pink is bad. It's good for you. That's all that matters. And that's the same thing I apply to my videos, because there was a guy who was trying to start a channel, and he kept asking me for advice, and I told him, if you live life shooting vlogs for others, you'll be very disappointed. As long as you've shot and edited and you like the end product, upload it, whether 10,000 people dislike and 0 like, you like it, that's all that matters.
So if it's content you're creating for the outside world, yet their views shouldn't really matter.
Yeah.
So explain that. So it's you're doing it for you. It's
I'm
your
doing
outlet.
it for me. It's my outlet. Also, if I'm sharing something that will benefit people, I'll make sure it's something that I will use in my life. I will not just go, a company comes to me and says, oh, we want you to promote this. If I don't like a product, I won't promote it, because it's not something I would use in my life, and I'd be misleading my followers.
Who is Chantelle? What does Chantelle do?
Chantelle is a digital marketer on the side, and a vlogger.
Okay.
Yeah, and a mom. That's who I am. Okay. Yes. And a daughter and a sister.
Your greatest joy?
My baby.
Your baby.
Yes. Looking at her and her smiling back at me, I'm just like, wow, I did something. At least in this life, I'll know I've done something. I gave life, which is the most important calling for every woman.
That's very true. It's a big one.
It's a very big one.
It's a tall order.
Yes.
But every woman has you know, we all feel like we have imperfections.
Yes.
And so much pressure with social media and
Yeah.
whatever, body goals,
Yeah.
this and that. What keeps you confident and secure in who you are?
It's the same policy with my vlogs. As long as I like my body, I don't care what anyone says. If someone may look at me and say you're fat, I'll be like, but I like being fat, you know? There's no problem with that. So if you have a problem, I'm sorry. And that's how you keep your self-esteem high. You love yourself. People will always have an opinion about anything to do with your life.
That's true.
As long as you like having matutas on your hair or broken nails. Rock them and love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you have the confidence and resilience to face anything. Keep that forever, Chantelle.
Thank you.
Always and always. And we wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Quick recovery and healing. And take your time as well. Yeah, don't have to rush and feel, oh, but I want to do that. I can't wait to do that. In your own time, your body will be ready.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know how to pace myself.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. We wish you all the best and much love to baby.
Thank
and
you.
to you at home, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've learned something from Chantelle's story. Please do reach out to her. We'll share her tags with you so you can reach out to her and us. Special thanks to Parkin by Radisson for hosting us. We're truly grateful. Until next week, God bless. Bye.